Hello everyone, Tom with Capo Fetish. Another very hot day in SoCal today in August of 2024. Today we're going to talk about our favorite one-hit wonders from the 1960s. There are a ton of them. I've chosen roughly a couple dozen, and we're going to do this in chronological order from 63 to 69. We're going to start off here with a great little ditty here, one-hit wonder from 1963 from the Rooftop Singers, Walk Right In, featuring a really cool 12-string guitar sound. Just kind of blares out of the speaker. In the midsection of the tune, they kind of riff on this 12-string, and it's really cool. The backup vocals are great. Well, the vocals in general, all three of them singing. Big hit back in early 63, Walk Right In by the Rooftop Singers. Another one that came out the same year in 63. It's one of my favorites from the early 60s. Amy Winehouse did a version on her her posthumous album, Lioness, that was released. And the song is called Our Day Will Come, but I love the version by Ruby and the Romantics. This was a huge hit back in 63. Just a very uplifting track. A lot of people have covered this, but this one has a certain magic. It's always had this certain vibe that I really love, and I love this track. Our Day Will Come from Ruby and the Romantics from 1963. Another one from 63 I've always liked is the song Deep Purple from Nino Tempo and April Stevens. This is a top 5 hit the week JFK was assassinated. And I've always just loved the vibe of this track. It has almost kind of borderline spooky vibe with her singing over him. And I don't know, just the instrumentation, but I've always dug it. Deep Purple from 1963 from Nino Tempo and April Stevens. Another one recorded in late 63, but didn't hit the top 10 till the early weeks of January 64. This is kind of like kind of the old guard as the British invasion was kicking in high steam. This is a track by a group called the Mermaids and a track called Popsicles and Icicles. Very, very charming, very innocent, very 1963, but it just has that kind of vibe, and that's what I like about it. Just the whole innocence involved in it, and this kind of stuff would be pretty passé once the British invasion would hit in the coming weeks hard. Another one from 64, going into 1964, is another really just nice, uplifting little track here by Gail Garnett called We'll Walk in the Sunshine on the RCA Victor label. If you pull up YouTube, there's a really cool black and white video of her, of course, lip-syncing, but it just kind of brings back that time, that innocence. Good stuff here. Gail Garnett, We'll Walk in the Sunshine. Another one from 64 is Len Barry's 1, 2, 3. This was a huge hit. Very catchy, but this is all he really had as far as hits go. This is on the Decca label. Another great one. Moving on to 1965, we've got You Were On My Mind by the We 5. Somebody said this was about weed. That's what they were talking about. Someone said that in my comment section a few weeks ago, and I never knew that. I just thought it was a love song, but maybe it is to weed. Who knows? But back in 65, as the Byrds hit with all the folk rock, a lot of other artists would follow suit, like the Turtles with It Ain't Me, Babe. And then groups like this would pop up, like We 5. And great one-hit wonder with that little chimey guitar in the back. Fantastic. We 5, 1965, You Were On My Mind. Moving on to 1966, and there are a lot of amazing one-hit wonders from 66. Right here from a guy named Keith, and the song called 98.6. The lyrics are 98.6, it's good to have you back again. Reportedly, this was a favorite of John Lennon's at the time. And I like that kind of old school shot there of Keith. You got this kind of lengthy editorial on the back here of the sleeve. Just really good sunshine pop there from Keith. How about some proto-punk, some garage rock? One of my favorites, my favorite version of Hey Joe by the Leaves on the Mira label, 1966. A lot of people covered this. Love covered it. The Byrds did kind of a half-ass version of it on 5D. Of course, Hendrix did the slow version, but for me, nothing will compare to this. Just absolute balls to the wall version of Hey Joe with that incredibly deep fuzz guitar banging out and that vocal so off the rails. So good, so good. Nothing will ever beat this version for me of Hey Joe. And the flip side is almost equally as good. It's very Beatlesque. It's called Funny Little World. That's another really catchy little ditty. So I love both A and B sides of this single by the Leaves. 1966. On a whole different kind of music level here, we've got one of my favorites from childhood here. And I heard this a lot. My brother and sister would play this a lot. Even my parents like this tune. It's been covered by a lot of people, but I love this version the best. And this is Bobby Hebb and the song called Sunny on the Phillips label. I always loved Bobby Hebb's vocals on this. So soulful. At the end, he does that kind of growl, that yell. I forgot what the line was, but just fantastic stuff. One hit wonder, Bobby Hebb with Sunny from 1966. Then we can't forget this garage rock classic here too, One Hit Wonder. They had other songs, but none ever really captured attention like this one. And this is really their only huge hit. And number one is 96 Tears by ? and the Mysterians on the Cameo label. Fantastic stuff. More stuff here. Moving on from 1967, early 67, I believe, or late 66. An Australian band called the Easy Beats. They had several singles in Australia that charted, and the UK as well. But the only one that charted here in the US was Friday on My Mind. And what a great track that is. What an infectious little guitar lead, guitar line, should I say, that is. And this features George Young, the brother of Angus and Malcolm Young from AC/DC. And this is a compilation from Rhino I picked up years ago, and there's some really fantastic tracks on here. One on here that I really love is called Heaven and Hell. I don't even think it's on this particular compilation. I think I might have the 45, but Easy Beats, fantastic. Friday on My Mind from 1966. Another one from 66, another garage rock classic, proto-punk classic by the Music Machine, Talk Talk, featuring those amazing vocals from lead vocalist Sean Bonnewell. I don't think this sounded like anything on the radio in 66. It sounds so ahead of its time, like 10 years ahead of its time. A definite proto-punk classic, under 2 minutes long, featuring another just really cool fuzz guitar and Bonnewell's amazingly deep, growly voice. Fantastic. Moving on to early 1967. This is off the Nuggets Volume 4 Pop Part 2 album here from Rhino. This came out in the 80s. And the track I'm talking about is Yellow Balloon by Yellow Balloon. Another just top-tier Sunshine Pop track. Just so infectious and catchy, that chorus. Incredible stuff. Another one-hit wonder, Yellow Balloon by Yellow Balloon from 1967. And then, of course, a track that's just, it's basically part of my DNA. I remember hearing this as a toddler, and I still love this track. It was a #1 hit. It was on the Uni label, Incense Peppermints by the Strawberry Alarm Clock. They had a follow-up single, and I do have it somewhere in the house. That was really cool, too. It wasn't even on this album. The song was called Tomorrow. I don't know if any of you remember that song, Tomorrow. Very, very cool. Another kind of Sunshine Pop track. But Incense and Peppermints, you know, it's kind of a poppy psych track. But that lead vocal, I love that lead vocal on this cut. And I like that outro, the sha-la-la part. Really good stuff. So yeah, definitely a one-hit wonder here by the Strawberry Alarm Clock, but what a great track. Incense and Peppermints from 67. Another great one from 67. It didn't really get too high in the charts, but I remember I had the 45 somewhere in the house, and that is the Sunshine Company. Another great Sunshine Pop track called Back on the Street Again. Kind of a mamas and papas kind of act here with those very bright, sunny vocals. So that's another great one-hit wonder here from 67. Back on the Street Again from the Sunshine Company. And how about a good novelty song? How about Judy in Disguise with Glasses by John Fred and his Playboy Band? Kind of a parody on the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds title by the Beatles. Pretty cool. Look at that label. What is this? Paula Records? Wow. Judy in Disguise with Glasses by John Fred and his Playboy Band from 1968. A group that made a splash in the UK and elsewhere, but not really here, but they did have one huge hit in 68, and I love this track, and that is Pictures of Matchstick Men by Status Quo. And what I really love about this track is that, I don't know if they stole from Hendrix, but I always thought that the lead guitar line, the main guitar line on this, always sounded like Burning of the Midnight Lamp from Hendrix. That do-do-do-do-do. I wonder if they took that from Hendrix, from the Electric Ladyland. But that Electric Ladyland came out earlier, so I don't know. They both sound kind of similar, those guitar lines. But I always love this great psychedelic track. Pictures of Matchstick Men by Status Quo from 1968. How about a nice instrumental here by Paul Marriott and his orchestra? Love is Blue, huge hit, great instrumental, timeless. If I bought the Jeff Beck Truth expanded CD a while back, years back, and he did a version of this. And it was kind of interesting to hear Jeff Beck doing a version of this. And there was all these backup singers and everything. But that was, if you get the Truth CD with the bonus tracks from Jeff Beck, there's a version of Love is Blue, but this is still my favorite. Great one-hit wonder. Another great psychedelic kind of bubblegum pop one-hit wonder from the Lemon Pipers, Green Tambourine. What a cool tune. What a cool vibe. Those really eerie backup vocals. And what about this label, huh? Look at that label. Is that cool or what? The Buddha Records label? It's, back in the 60s had such amazing like label artwork, even on the 45s. I mean, this is like a great example right here. So yeah, the Lemon Pipers, Green Tambourine, always been a favorite one-hit wonder of mine from 1968. How about the American Breed, the tune Bend Me, Shape Me on Atka Records. That's another great one as well from 1968. And then, of course, this one here from 68, Fire by Arthur Brown. Great album, great single. What an amazing track Fire is. With that brass section that comes in, highlighting some of the, the intensity of the track. Amazing vocalist. Just an amazing act. I mean, this guy really pretty much started theatrics on stage in rock, right? I heard that he was pulled across the stage with all these rats. He was like in some little kind of cart and all these rats were pulling him. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, fantastic. Fire by Arthur Brown from 1968. And then the last one here on the list, one from 1969. I've showcased this album quite a few times, but I must mention it again. Thunderclap Newman's Something in the Air from 1969. Just an incredible one-hit wonder. Speedy Keen on vocals, Jimmy McCulloch on guitar. And that is it. What are your favorite one-hit wonders from the 60s? Throw them in the comments section. As always, thanks for watching. If you dig the content, press subscribe. And I thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.